All right, this says solve the following polynomial equation by grouping and factoring. There's only two terms in it, so it's already a group. It's a group of two. But whenever you try to factor something, you should always try a greatest common factor first. And the only thing that they both have in common is a y. So I would factor out the y. And when you factor it out, you're actually dividing it out. It's like you're taking 4y cubed and dividing by y, and taking 9y and dividing by y. And this is too close here. I'm going to rewrite it down here. So when I pull out that y, and I take the 4y cubed and divide it by y, this y cancels out one of these y's and leaves you with a y squared. Your y divided by a y cancels, so you're left with a y, which is a y squared. Why are we doing this? I don't know why. Okay, and then on this one, the y's just cancel out, so you're left with a 9. And that right there, that 4y squared minus 9, that is a difference of two squares. And I recognize it because the 4, that's a perfect square. The square root of 4 is 2. 9 is also a perfect square because the square root of 9 is 3. Because 3 squared equals 9. Just like 2 squared equals 4. When you square root it, you're just taking it back to what it was. And your y is also squared. So for the 4y squared, I'm going to split it here and here, and that's going to be a 2y times another 2y. And then, need another highlighter, yellow. Since this is a minus sign right here, my two signs right here have to be opposites. One has to be a plus and the other has to be a minus. Because a positive times a negative would give you a negative. And then the 9, another highlighter, the 9, that's a perfect square, so that gets split in half also to be a positive 3 times a negative 3. All right? So I'm going to rewrite this all in black because the next step is solving it for y. Now, this thing is set equal to 0, and there is this concept that says if a times b is equal to 0, then either the a is the 0 or the b is the 0. I mean, if you multiply two things together and you get an answer of 0, one of those two things had to be 0 to begin with. That's the only way you can get an answer of 0. And they say a times b, but I could say a times b times c equals 0. Then either a is 0, b is 0, or c is 0. And that's actually what I have right here. Either the y is equal to 0, or the 2y plus 3 is equal to 0, or the 2y minus 3 is equal to 0. Because you've got three things multiplied together. You've got y times a 2y plus 3 times a 2y minus 3. Just like up here you had a times b. Either the a part is the 0 or the b part is the 0. So down here either the y part is the 0 or the 2y plus 3 is the 0 or the 2y minus 3 is the 0. Well, this one right here, that's just one possible answer, 0. Okay? Let's see, separate them by colon. So I'll put the 0 in first and then a colon. And then I'm going to solve the yellow guy. Need more room over here, sorry. If you have the 2y plus 3 is equal to 0, first thing I am going to do is subtract the 3 over, so it cancels. I'll be left with 2y on the left, and a 0 minus 3 is a minus 3. And then to get y by itself, I'll divide by 2, because 2 over 2 is just 1y. And then I got to divide the other side by 2 also. And that's going to be a negative 3/2. It doesn't say that I have to give them as a fraction. I could say negative 1.5, I guess, but fractions don't scare me, so I'm just going to leave it as negative 3/2, and then another colon. So that leaves me with the burgundy stuff here, the 2y minus 3. So I'm going to solve that one also. First step on this one would be to add 3 to both sides. Cancels out there. I'm left with the 2y on the left, and 0 plus 3 is 3 on the right. And then to solve for y, I'll divide the 2, so I get 1y, and I divide the 2 over there. And so the last possible answer for y is the 3/2, and that's what I'll put next. And I forgot to circle my answer there. All right, so I didn't really use grouping at all. It was just a greatest common factor, and then I was like, hey, that's a difference of 2 squares. I recognize that. And there you go.